Hi guys. All right, here we go with video number 4. You can tell I'm not a YouTuber in any way, so hopefully this is helping you. We are going to do our one length haircut, just a basic one length haircut with a center part. You did this once in school before we weren't able to be in school, so you should be able to follow along, hopefully pretty good, just to refresh your memory. Again, don't cut your mannequins until we are back in school, but this way you can just watch what we already learned and keep it fresh in your minds. So we're going to part the hair down the middle. You should be using your mirror. When you are parting, you want to make sure that it is a center part. So when you do part the hair, you want to make sure your comb is flat against the head like this. Do not part the hair like this. 1, it will not give you a clean part, and 2, if you do this on an actual person's head, it's going to hurt because you're digging in with a tiny little point. Your comb should be flat like this, okay? Get that comb in the middle, slide back, and now the teeth are going to hold all this hair and really do the work for you, so that you're getting a straight, clean part. So part it down the middle, and then we're gonna find our apex, just like we learned about in our last video. The apex is the highest point of the head. Rest your comb on the top. Make sure the comb is level. Where the head touches the comb is the highest point. That's your apex. So you're gonna part straight down. This should come right behind the ear, just like that. And see how since I used my teeth, I have a nice clean part? The work is already done for me. So you're gonna clip that, and then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So follow that same line right at the apex straight down. You should come just behind the ear. If you get a little bit too much hair from behind the ear, just slide down. I'm doing this backwards so you guys can see me, so I'm at a little bit of a funny angle. Now we're gonna go down the back, and we're gonna go right over the occipital bone down to the nape, all the way down. Part it in 2, and now you have your 4 sections. And clip those out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to take our first section to cut. Remember to clip your clips to the hair, not put it down on your station once it touches your client. We're going to take about 1.5 inch section right below the occipital bone. We're going to go diagonal down to the nape. So you're making somewhat of a triangular section. We're doing the same thing at the other side. And we're gonna have our first section to cut. We're gonna start in the middle to create our guide. We're just doing a 1 length. I'm gonna use my fine teeth. My client has straight hair, so we're combing straight down. I'm gonna get the hair in between my middle finger and my index finger. I'm gonna smooth the hair. Now I'm going to follow my comb down with my fingers. Don't pick up this hair, get down to the bottom, and then pick up your hair, because now the hair is not smooth. Put your comb in, put your fingers right over the comb, and slide down. Once I'm holding the hair here, I'm only gonna cut up to that second knuckle. I'm gonna create my guide. Make sure my shoulders are level. I'm standing in front of the section I'm gonna cut. My fingers are straight, horizontal to the floor, and my scissors are straight and I'm cutting. Before I let go of this, I'm gonna put my comb back in, and I'm going to get that hair, some of what I cut, some of what I'm going to cut, and I'm going to bring my fingers back up, follow my comb down, and cut. Keeping my fingers here, holding that hair, combing some of what I just cut and what I am gonna cut, put my fingers in, slide down, and I'm slowly moving to my left, following my guide, and then I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna follow it to my right. My guide is in there. I need to come back over to the middle a little bit and get that into my first 2 knuckles. There's my guide. I'm gonna cut to that guide. Once I've gone around the head, I'm gonna cross check. You can do this by standing really straight, looking at your sections, but if your shoulders are straight, your body is straight, you should also feel that the hair is even. You can actually cross check by closing your eyes and feeling that your fingers are coming off the hair at the same point. Once you've done that, you're gonna get your next section. Again, a little bit at an angle, about 1 inch to 2 inches, depending on the thickness of the person's hair. Of course, this is your mannequin. All the mannequins you have are the same that you're cutting right now. So everyone should be at about 1 inch to 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Now we're gonna comb this down, nice and straight, 0 elevation. I can see my guide through the section I'm cutting, and that's what I'm gonna cut to. Doing the same thing, combing the hair, following it down, making sure I'm directly in front of the section I'm cutting, and following it around the head. Making sure you're right in front of the section you're cutting is going to help you keep a nice straight line. If you're not in front of the section you're cutting, you can get crooked very, very easily. Now I'm going to cross check again. Make sure I'm even before I get my next section. This time I'm taking all of this hair down because this is a mannequin. She does have some shorter pieces in there and the hair might not reach all the way down to the bottom. This is going to happen with the first few haircuts that you do on your mannequin. It's not always going to happen on a client's hair. So if I took down all that hair and I could not see my guide through the section I'm going to cut, then I'd need to clip more hair up and out of the way. So you're only cutting the hair that reaches to your guide. What can happen a lot when you first start cutting is you comb the hair down and you say, well, I have nothing to cut here. What do I do? Then you don't cut. You only cut what goes past your guide. Sometimes you're not going to have anything to cut, and that is normal. It's very easy when you first start cutting to feel like you have to always have something to cut when you take a section down. That's not true. There might not be any hair touching or reaching the guide. So that means that you have nothing to cut. So don't cut if you don't see anything. Again, cross-check. I like to cross-check every section. It's better to find a mistake at the beginning of the haircut than get all the way to the end and realize you messed it up. So we're going to take this whole section down because it's a mannequin. We're going to comb this straight down. You need to be getting your guide from the back. Don't try just grabbing up here and looking for a piece. It's okay to go back and follow it forward. So there's our guide. There's nothing to cut. There's our guide. There's what we need to cut. Make sure you're paying attention to where the hair is falling. A lot of times students, when they first start cutting, want to take this hair and comb it back. You don't want to comb it back. You want it to be falling in its natural position. So when I comb this out and let it fall, it's here. So that's where I need to cut. Don't bring it back. Keep it where it's growing from. Other side, combing straight down. Again, we're gonna go to the back, make sure we see our guide, and we're gonna start to follow that forward. There it is right there. So that's what we're gonna cut. Move forward again. I'm keeping the hair coming down from where it's growing. I'm not over directing it back or forward. I'm just going straight down. Now I'm gonna turn her forward and cross check, make sure she's the same length, and we're good. A couple things about cross checking is that you should be checking the length standing level, okay? So you want to be bringing the hair down and checking it like this. You shouldn't be pulling this out to you to look and see if it's the same, because as you start to pull it out, hair starts falling out of your fingers, and then you're not going to get an accurate measurement as to if your hair is the same length or not. So this is your basic one length haircut, zero elevation, hanging length. The hair is falling straight down from where it grows, and that's where you're cutting it.